Today we'll be having a look at the famous Argentinian tango tune, Por Una Cabeza. I'll start by playing the first little section of it for you, give you a sense of what you're about to learn, and then I'll show you how to learn it yourself, bar by bar and note by note. So here's how the music sounds. Right, that's the opener. And then in the middle of the section, or in the middle of the piece, is that famous bit that everybody recognizes. Right, nice and simple, straightforward to learn, but super satisfying to play. So let's jump in. We'll begin with the left hand. As you can see, the right hand, when it begins, is stationary, very much in one position. You don't have to even look at the hand to know what you're about to play. But the left hand has these big jumps. So let's learn those first. 5 on D, hold, connect to a 3 on G. And that 3 is a staccato, which sort of launches you up and allows you to land on 4, 2, and 1, G major. The piece is in G major, and we begin in G major. And I would suggest when you're learning this, when you do this jump, really use this G as a kind of catapult to launch yourself up. And then the movement down, right? The movement of your hand to the note is what plays the note. That's the best way to understand the technique necessary here. What I don't want you to do is this. Get there, arrive, and then play. Too many movements, and it's too unnecessarily effortful. So the movement up and down is what launches you onto the notes. One movement. Up, down. Up, down. Not. That's safe, but a bit boring and not as elegant and not as smooth as it could be. Launch yourself onto the chord. You might miss the chord the first few times you play it. That's okay. You'll get used to it, and eventually you'll know how to do this without thinking. All right, so that's it for the first 1, 2, 3, 4, pretty much 4 bars. It just repeats the same thing over and over again. So we have once, twice, 3 times, and then similar idea, right? 5, connect to 4 on A. Same fingering here. 4, 2, and 1. It's the same as you had down here. It's just now we're moved up by 1. So the shape and the size, the spacing between the fingers is the same as you had down here. Should be very easy to do. Next. That's super easy, right? 5 to 3, launching you to 4, 2, and 1. And again, you'll notice that this is the same spacing as, it's just that everything is moved up by 1, right? From here to here, and from here to there. So it's very straightforward. So from the G sharp, next. You play that once, and then 4 to 5, 5, 2, and 1 is where you end up landing. And this is where I'd like you to pause with the left hand, learn it very well, and then we'll go back and have a look at the right hand. So all of it together, let me play without any pausing or talking. We get the following. Ta-da! There's your left. Very bouncy and kind of like you want to dance to it, right? All right, here we go. Right hand. Easy enough. These are your notes using all the fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then back to 4. There's your first group. Next. That's your second. 2, 1, 2, 3. And then 5, 4. And you'll notice for this section, after the second finger, the rest of the notes are in a very straightforward position right here. Pretty much just a D major. All the fingers 1 through 5. Next. So that's 3, 4, 2, 3, 1, move down to 5. That brings you into a new position. 3, 4, 2, 3, 1, 5. Then 3, 4, 3, hold, 1, and then 2 across. Like that. Take your time with that. Learn it slowly, of course, etc. Don't rush into this piece. Learn it slowly, and then slowly, gradually increase the tempo. Let's put it together. Assuming now that you've learned the left hand very well and the right hand very well, putting it together shouldn't be too complicated, especially since the right hand doesn't move around too much. So we have. So this is the moment. The C sharp in the right hand is where the left hand comes in with the D. And then together. And then the left hand is alone. As slow as you need. And make sure when you're doing this with both of the hands to maintain the movement and the freedom of the left hand to jump around. Don't tighten up. Just because there's a jump doesn't mean you have to work harder. No, just stay loose and stay free. Moving on. So it's on the E that the left hand arrives. Together at the top. Easy enough, right? One small technical detail that you might run into when you're learning this, if you don't have a lot of experience with piano, is that you know that in the left hand it's hold, release, right? This release is a staccato. So that means the left hand is playing staccato while the right hand is legato, is connected. So that means you have to lift off of this note while the right hand stays on the note. So instead of, you might find that your hands want to follow each other, mirror each other. Right? You might want to do this because the left hand is jumping, the right hand wants to jump too. Don't let that happen. The left hand jumps, the right hand does not until the next note. And that's true everywhere. You see? That's what gives it the charm. Next. together on A, together GG, together, 5, together, cool, up in the left hand, up in the left hand, but the right hand remains legato through all of that. That's important. Make sure you follow that. And then when you get to this F sharp, you hold it, play the G sharp, and then they come in together at the end here, right? So, you see? Right, left, right, together. And there you have it. There's the first major phrase. Pretty straightforward. Now, one small detail that you might have noticed if you compare what I just taught you with how I played it at the beginning of the tutorial when I was performing the opening section. Once you learn this, you don't have to play it straight. You don't have to play everything, you know, bop, 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 bop. You can start to add little dotted rhythms and a little bit of a lilt in your playing to make it more of like a tango, something more sultry and fun and something like, you know? So it doesn't have to be straight. You can mess around with it and change it up. Of course, you need to know the piece really well to do that, but I just want you to know that what I'm teaching you is a kind of baseline, and then from that baseline, you can deviate a little bit and change it up and make it a little bit more charming with additions or subtractions and changes of rhythm. I think that's pretty good. Putting all that together. Like that, you see? Then we move on. I'll do that in the next part of the tutorial. All right, come on over and let's finish it together. See you in part 2.